You're at Yellowstone National Park right now. Hundreds of tourists surround you. The sun is shining, birds are singing, everything looks perfect. But right beneath your feet, the most dangerous volcanic system known to exist on Earth is sleeping. And today, it's waking up again. So, can you actually survive this? First, let's clear something up. Yellowstone is not a volcano. I mean, technically it is, but calling it just a volcano is like calling the ocean just a puddle. Regular volcanoes erupt, wipe out a few cities, make it into the history books. Tragic? Yes. Does it end civilization? Not quite. Yellowstone is different. Right beneath your feet, roughly 8 to 14 kilometers underground, sits a magma chamber so enormous it could fit several New York cities inside. This isn't a bomb waiting to go off. Its heart is already beating. We just don't know when it's going to lose its temper. The last major eruption happened 640,000 years ago, and that eruption buried vast portions of North America under a thick layer of volcanic ash. Not parts of it, vast portions of it. So yes, definitely not just a volcano. 6 a.m. You're thousands of kilometers away from Yellowstone. You notice something odd on your phone. Small earthquakes beneath the park. But that's normal, you tell yourself. It's always like that at Yellowstone. You're right. Usually, 6:50 a.m. The tremors are more frequent now, stronger. Park rangers are trying to begin an evacuation, but traffic is already at a complete standstill. 7 a.m. The ground rises 3 meters, and then there's no sound at first, just light, not from the direction of the sunrise and from the very center of the sky. A blinding white light. Then a wave of heat hits your face. Then the sound arrives. Within seconds, everything within a 50-kilometer radius of Yellowstone's center is erased from the map. Rocks, trees, roads, buildings, all of it, gone in seconds. A cloud of ash and gas expands into the sky at 1,600 kilometers per hour. The pressure wave crosses the entire continent. Thousands of kilometers away, people feel their windows rattling. If you're within 200 kilometers, you don't need to keep watching this video. I'm sorry, your story ends here. Within 1,000 kilometers, it takes a little longer, but the outcome doesn't change. But you're farther away than that, and the real danger is only just beginning. 7 a.m. You're in the middle of the city. Your phone screen flickers, an emergency alert, but most people are still asleep. Neighbors have stepped onto their balconies, staring up at the sky. There's an orange glow on the horizon. It almost looks beautiful. Don't let the beauty fool you. Within a few hours, that orange glow turns into a gray darkness. Ash starts falling. At first, it's like snow. Light, almost harmless looking. Do not go outside. This is not ordinary ash. It's made of microscopic glass particles. In a single breath, they adhere to your lungs. Inhale even a small amount, and the damage is irreversible. Seal every crack in your doors and windows with tape. Every millimeter matters. A wet cloth, an N95 mask. Use whatever you have. Even several layers of fabric offer some partial protection. But the greatest danger is coming from above. You look at your roof, ash has started to accumulate. Every square meter carries hundreds of kilograms of weight. Your neighbor's building begins to creak. Then, don't waste time. Clear the roof or get down to the most structurally sound basement immediately. You look out at the street. People are running to their cars, loading up their trunks, trying to flee. Watch them. Then don't do the same thing. The roads are jammed. Visibility is zero. A car trapped in ash is no different from dying out in the open. The safest place right now is between 4 walls. Stay there. You've made it through the first week. Most people didn't get this far, and keep that in mind. But you look outside and you notice something. The sun looks different, dimmer, more distant. The thermometer is dropping, first a few degrees, then a few more. Even though it's summer, you can see your breath when you exhale. This isn't a broken thermometer, this is volcanic winter. The eruption released enormous amounts of sulfur dioxide gas into the atmosphere. That gas forms an invisible curtain around the Earth. Sunlight can't reach the surface. Temperatures drop 5 to 10 degrees worldwide. I know that sounds small, but the wheat in the fields can't survive this cold. Corn won't grow. Rice won't grow. Farmers across every corner of the world are facing the exact same problem at the exact same time. Food reserves start to run out, slowly at first, then very fast. In 1815, Mount Tambora erupted in Indonesia, an eruption 1,000th the size of Yellowstone, just 1,000th. And even that caused an entire year without summer. Famine spread across Europe and America. Thousands died of starvation. Yellowstone is 1,000 times that. 1,000 times. All right, you know what's coming. Now let's talk about what keeps you alive. Rule 1. Get out, but not now. It's too late for that. You needed to leave the area days, even weeks before the eruption, at least 1,000 kilometers from Yellowstone, because below that distance, there's no negotiation, no luck, no plan. If you're still there, you might not need to hear the rest of this list. Rule 2. Don't trust the water. There's a sound from outside. Your neighbor has stepped into the garden and is collecting rainwater. Stop. Tell them. That water is no longer clean. It contains ash, acid, hundreds of toxic particles invisible to the naked eye. You don't know when the taps will run dry. Rivers, lakes, groundwater, I mean, all of it may be contaminated. If you don't have at least 3 months' worth of clean drinking water stored, dehydration will find you before the ash does. Rule 3. You reap what you sow, but in volcanic winter the ground is frozen and the sky is full of ash. You may not even find soil fit to plant in. Stores empty within the first 48 hours. People panic buy whatever is on the shelves. Chocolate, chips, useless things. You need to think differently. Canned goods, dried food, seeds. Seeds especially, because volcanic winter can last for years. And during that time, outside help is not coming. Someone who can't grow their own food is forced to rely on the mercy of others. You don't know how much stock others have. You do know how much you have. Rule 4. Don't be alone. Maybe you're thinking, I can handle this myself. Maybe you're right for the first few days, but by the 3rd week, your water supply is running low. By the 4th week, the ash on your roof is too heavy to clear alone. By the 5th week, you fall ill and there's no one beside you. Solitude isn't strength. In this scenario, it's a risk. Move with people you trust. Share resources. Because throughout history, the ones who survived disasters weren't usually those who made it alone. They were the ones who stayed together. Rule 5. What do you know? The phone has no signal, no internet, no electricity, no Google. How do you dress a wound? How do you filter water? What season do you plant seeds? If you don't know these things now, you may not have time to learn them in that moment. First aid, water filtration, seed cultivation. I know it sounds ordinary, but we're talking about a world where a single book, a single course, one piece of knowledge picked up from a neighbor could be the thing that saves you. Sharper than a weapon, more valuable than any stockpile, knowing what to do. So after all of this, can you actually survive? Let's be honest, a Yellowstone eruption would collapse modern civilization within hours. Millions of people would be caught completely unprepared. Food runs out, water runs out, the sun disappears. Your odds, on paper, close to zero. But here's what we also know. Throughout history, humanity has faced moments that made people say, this is the end. Pandemics, wars, famines. And every single time, a group of people survived. Not because they were lucky, because they were prepared, because they stayed together, because they had knowledge. So yes, your odds are close to zero, but they're not zero. See you in the next scenario.